Your Excellency, have you heard from Chief of Protocol, please?
We're already live. Now is not the time. All right, a pleasant good evening. Today is Monday, the 20th of June, 2022, and you are live in the class of Steele's Monday meeting session. And this evening, we just want to welcome you who are joining with us on our YouTube, Facebook, or on our LinkedIn platform. We just want to welcome you this evening. And we equally want to acknowledge the person of Lizelle Thomas of Lizelle is in South Africa. Lizelle, you're welcome. Her Excellency Zanis Amaka Curry here in the United Kingdom. Margaret Ahmed from the Homemakers Women's Development Initiative. And we also have Reverend Stephen Abu out of Nigeria, First Lady Jeannie Steele, and all those others who are joining us on our platforms. You are very welcome this evening to the class of Steele. Those of you who are on our LinkedIn platform or Facebook, if you are so interested to just pop into the class of Steele's discussion this evening and join with us, you are very welcome. The subject for this evening is All I Have Is Now. Subject for this evening is All I Have Is Now. The reason why we chose this subject for this evening is twofold. The first reason is a lot of times we have individuals who miss opportunities. They miss opportunities, and they miss opportunity because they think, or should I equally say, sometimes we think that we have another opportunity or another chance or another break, and it can wait until then. Some of us, we have that thought or that thinking. And then the second one is procrastination. One is we think that we have more time and we have other opportunities. And then the next one is procrastination. A lot of times when opportunities come, we find ourselves procrastinating. And procrastination, I can assure you, is the killer of many, many potentially great opportunities, equally as great as thinking that you'll get another chance. Procrastination is equally as deadly to your visions or your opportunities. Now, why do I say all I have is now? I think that a lot of times life creates opportunities for us, the universe, sometimes all without us, without our calling, without our asking, without our begging. Sometimes the universe, nature, God, the divine, the creator, somehow without our permission or without our asking, just creates opportunity for us. Sometimes it's being the right place at the right time. Sometimes you are in an environment where you get privy to a conversation or an opportunity that had you not been at that particular place and that particular time, you would not have been privy to that opportunity. And we look at some of the things that give us the know that this is an opportunity. I want to share some thoughts with you because remember, I'm not giving you anything that we're going to say, well, that's a golden rule to follow this or to follow that. I want to give you some thoughts, some things to think about. I believe that over my 50 years of life thus far, I've had a number of experiences, and some of them have been repeated experiences, repeated opportunities, and some of them were opportunities that I lost or I missed. And I think that what I'm going to share this evening would shine some light and give us a blueprint to think on pertaining to my subject at hand this evening, which is all I have is now. How do we know when an opportunity shows up? How do you know when an opportunity shows up? How do you know? Well, the first thing is, if you are hungry, when food shows up, you will smell the pot. I think that's a good one. If you're walking, going through anywhere, any village, community, town, anywhere, and you're hungry, your stomach is, as it were, growling, and you are really looking forward to having a meal, your senses will inform you food is around the corner. The minute you smell a pot, the minute you smell a gravy or a sauce, your stomach is going to tug at you. Hey, that's my stop. That's my stop. If you're walking and there's a store nearby, you will see a big sign and the sign will say food or cash and carry or whatever it will say. But you will know that food is available and it is within your reach. So let's tie it down to opportunity. How do you know when an opportunity shows up based in the context that I'm using? If you're hungry and you're looking for an opportunity, when one shows up, you will know. I don't have to tell you because an opportunity for you might not be an opportunity for me. Something that you see as a great opportunity, it might not mean anything to me. Something I might see as a fantastic opportunity, it might not mean anything to you personally. So don't expect when your opportunity shows up, don't expect somebody to celebrate with you and spoon feed you, here it is. All right? All I have is now. Don't expect somebody to spoon feed you when you get that tug that says, I've been hungry for so long, this is exactly what I need right now. Nobody is going to know that for you but yourself. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you hungry for an opportunity? And if the answer to that question is yes, there are a few things that you need to have in place. A few things. Number one, what type of opportunity are you looking for? Because if you're hungry, you do normally most of the times have a sense of what you feel like eating. You got a sense of, I feel like eating this or that, something. You have a sense of it. And when it shows up or it's near around you, you're more stimulated, you're more excited, you're more passionate, you're more, yes, you're more immediate, yes, this I can deal with, yes. But if you're not sure what you feel like eating, or you're not sure if you really feel like eating, you're not going to jump, you're not going to be excited when that opportunity shows up. How hungry you are equally for an opportunity. How hungry are you? Are you hungry for an opportunity to the point where when you get that opportunity, you take it by the horns, and you bring it into that place of submission, that place of, you belong to me. I'm not letting you go unless you bless me. I will not release you unless I get my satisfaction. I will not release you unless I let you know exactly what I wanted, or what I was expecting, or what I am planning for, or what I'm going to embrace. If you're not very hungry, you're not going to have the ability to do that. You're just going to look at it, beat around the bush, look around it. Maybe, yeah, maybe not. So what type of opportunity are you looking at? Do you have a blueprint? Do you have it laid out? Or are you just waiting for something to happen, anything to happen, without your genuine input? You just want something to happen. Most people that want something to happen and don't know what it is, don't have a clue really what it is they're seeking, they don't understand when it shows up, because they're not really bothered. They're not really buzzed. They don't know. They're testing everything. They're trying this. They're trying that. They're testing. Just testing. I don't know. Why did you walk into the store? I don't know what I want. It's a store, so I can just look around. I mean, you know, a lot of people that walk into stores just looking around, a lot of times they walk out and they buy nothing. But then there are those that you have that they walk into a store and they spend more than they expected to. They buy more than they expected to, because they didn't go with a list. They just took what was available and ended up recognizing, oh my goodness, if I did not leave my house, I would not have spent so much money. It would not have cost me so much. Let's look at some other points about all I have is now. You know, one of the things that great entrepreneurs have is the ability to spot a deal or spot an opportunity. Entrepreneurs have this ability. Why do they have that ability? They have it because they are responsible for keeping food on their tables. They're responsible for making ends meet, making things happen. And they have trained themselves to be always on the lookout, always on the lookout for something that can add value to them. Something that could increase their profitability, or something that can give them a greater opportunity to do much more. So there is always this ability to be observing and looking and seeing what's going on, always. So as you go forward, you are constantly being in the place of recognizing that I need to observe the time and the season. I need to be focused. The other thing that I noticed is when opportunities come, they don't come the way you expect them to, package the way you expect them to be packaged. Never. I have discovered that the greatest opportunities that have crossed my path and the greatest opportunities that I've embraced that have served me well are those I really wasn't looking for. I wasn't planning for them. I wasn't expecting them, but I embraced them. As I mentioned, the subject for this evening is all I have is now. All I have is now. I wasn't looking for those opportunities. They were without my authorization, without my input. Some of the places that I've had unusual opportunities are airports, petrol stations, church services, trips that I've been on, accompanying others in places that I normally wouldn't go myself, hospital visitations, working with those on the blocks and different marginalized communities. And you meet people that you would not normally meet other than in those environments where you just traverse or happened to be. Government offices, in the bank. And you meet individuals that some of them just say, hey, how are you doing? And they give you their card and they says, hey, we should catch up for a cup of tea sometime. And what happened from that moment was lifelong relationships, lifelong friendships. But had I not embraced that opportunity, had I not embraced the now factor, would have never been amounted to anything. If you're looking for an opportunity, there's something that you need to equally be mindful of. Are you positioning yourself for opportunity? Positioning. All you have is now. So what do? Now is the time my opportunity that I'm looking for could come true. Now is the time that what I expect to happen could happen. Are you prepared for your nows? Are you prepared? Every time I come to the class of Steele and I sit on this platform, I have a preparation in my spirit. This could be the day. This could be the day that something miraculous happens, something that I didn't plan for, that is in my favor, in my highest interest happen. So how do I show up? Dressed and ready. I never get to the place where I say I will just show up in the class of Steele dressed anyhow. I always come prepared that this could be that moment that person could see me. That person could watch this presentation and they could say, I want to meet that young man. I want to meet that young woman. Are you prepared for your opportunity? As a mentor, I pride myself in some of the tools that I use as a mentor. I pride myself in them. I give simple instructions sometimes and I watch the outcome of those instructions quietly. I do certain things with a reason and a purpose. Everything that I do, 90% of the times, have a reason. Everything I do have a reason and a purpose. Every single thing. I find it very seldom that I do something that is not purposeful. Very seldom. As a mentor, you learn to be purposeful with all of your actions. When you're speaking to individuals, try to be purposeful. When you don't speak, try to be purposeful. When you're communicating, be purposeful. When you don't communicate, be purposeful. Because everything that you do should have a reason behind it. It's good. It's good to be prepared, and it's good to be recognizing that all I have is this now time. But when we come to the class of Steele, and I deliberately, as a mentor, carefully listen to individuals sharing their, what did you receive from this evening's session? Why do I do that? I'll tell you why I do it. For those of you who are not aware, let me give you a little bit of insight in why I do it. I do it because I want you to let the world know what's in you. I want you to speak for yourself. The reason why we created this platform with audio and video is because individuals could see you as a person themselves, but then they can hear you. When you speak, how do you speak? What's in you? How do you communicate? How do you relate what you saw or what you experienced in a teaching session or in the class? What is your opinion on subject matters that are current? It's for you. That's why I don't interrupt individuals. I listen and I allow individuals to speak so that they can represent themselves. These videos are watched by individuals, and individuals can see you. They're looking at you as a person. You have your business. You have your organization that you represent. And all of us are students of life. All of us. I'm still a student. I'm still very much a student. I'm not just a mentor, I'm also a student. I have elders that I listen to them, and they still speak and correct me and guide me. I still have that. I have to. If I don't have that, then I think, to be honest with you, I would be useless as a mentor. Because any person who does not have somebody that teaches them or help them to be better, they really don't understand how difficult it is for leaders to have other leaders trying to teach them. It's not easy being a leader of leaders and having another leader tell you how to be, what to do, how to do it. It's not really easy. It takes practice. Being a leader that is following instructions and guidance, it takes practice. Because as you get older, there's something that happens to us. I don't know if it's instinctively, deliberately, I'm not sure what it is, but we get a sense of, I don't need you anymore. We get a sense of, I could do this by myself. I don't need you to do this. We get that kind of sense about us. All of us, it's natural. It's not something that is unnatural, because we're expected to grow up and move on. That's the nature of life. Grow up and move on, and deal with your own things, deal with your family, deal with your business, Deal with your circumstances and your situations on your own. Grow up and move on. All of us are expected to do that. But if you are a student of life, you would recognize that when you have a business, you need people to teach you things that you don't know. You have to be humble. Because there are things about the UK system that I don't know, and I can promise you, there are people in business who they don't even want to know. They just pay somebody to do it for them, but they need to learn because they don't know. Even as a mentor, there are mentors that I speak to when I have challenges with understanding how to deal with some things. How have you dealt with this? How did you handle this? And they tell me. I'm always learning. But all you have is now. How did you represent in that now that you had? How did you represent? How did the person that gave you that opportunity look at you after? How do opportunities reach you? Do you find that it is hard for you to get opportunities, or is it easy? What defines hard to get an opportunity and easy? I'll tell you. You should say that. Me. It is me that defines an opportunity is hard to come by or easy to come by. It is me. 100% me. 100% me. Oh, you're so lucky. You get so many opportunities. You're so lucky. No, I'm not lucky. It's not about luck. Opportunity is about availability. It's about hunger. It's about always looking. Some people are too busy in their own heads. They go to the supermarket. They don't even speak to any person. They see their neighbor and in the back of their head, they just, oh, that's my neighbor. Some people even go down through the different aisle because they see their neighbor. They never had a chance to speak to the neighbor and have a conversation, but they're not about it. You know, they're minding their own business. Some of you hear people say that, I'm minding my own business. You don't make friends easily. You get to the cashier and the cashier is right there and you're stood just quiet, just waiting to pay your bill and move on. No fuss, no fuel, just pay your bill, move on. You never say, hi, how are you? How was your day today? How's it going? While they're checking, you know, and boop, boop, boop. And you say, you know, just a brief thing, no conversation. You didn't even realize that he's the young man that went to university with your daughter or your son, or he lives right around the corner from you, and he sees you and you don't even know. Opportunity comes to those who are sociable. Sociable means that you are going to open dialogue with individuals that you wouldn't normally open dialogue with them. An antisocial person, or a person that is not so social or sociable, walks past opportunities every single day of their life because they're trapped in their heads, in their own world. I'll speak to my sons and my daughters. I'll speak to my husband and my wife. I'll speak to my work colleagues. But when I leave the office, I don't speak to anyone. I just focus on getting home, getting to my family, end of discussion. I don't have time to speak to anyone. I don't have time to make friends. There's some people that are even on social media. And social media, sometimes they just go and they see everybody's business they know backwards. Oh, I know you do this, I know you do that. But they never engage you. They never have a conversation with you. They never dialogued with you. They never shared if you and them are in some mutual friendship or some mutual opportunity. Never. Because they're trapped in their own world. All I have is now. That person that you met, you might not get an opportunity to meet them again. Why this evening's discussion? I want to stimulate your thinking. I want to stimulate you to create opportunities, to position yourself for opportunities. I want to stimulate you. A lot of times, I've discovered something very, very profound, very interesting. A lot of times people will see you simple and they will not engage you. And they'll see somebody else engage in you and they will see that the engagement that they have with you was fruitful. Then all of a sudden, they're starting to call you and to try to engage you. And they didn't realize you had an opportunity to engage me and you missed it. But equally, we have opportunities to engage others and we miss it too. There's sometimes we have opportunities to engage others and we miss the opportunity to engage those others a lot of times. I like people that work with street people. His Excellency, Dr. Ewers and Zionists and Margaret Ahmed and, Her Excellency Margaret Ahmed and people that work with the less fortunate. There are some of they're filled with opportunities that come their way because they dialogue, they engage. They open conversations. They understand the now factor. All I have is now. COVID has came and taken so many lives and a lot of persons missed opportunities because they didn't realize all you have is now. How do you pick up where you left off? How do you pick up where you left off? How do you become sociable if you're not really a sociable person? How do you do it? What are some of the things you can do to cause you to be more sociable? What are some of the things? Become more interested in those around you. Become more interested. When you go into the town center, for example, or when you go for a petrol, or when you go anywhere, become more aware of others. Be more aware of others. Look for reason to tell you, oh, your shirt looks nice. I like that shirt. That doesn't hurt. That's a nice dress, man. Ooh. I see some ladies, my wife and I, we were in Manchester, and I see some old ladies, very old. I think they must have been in their 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And the old gentleman, the husband, and the ladies had their hair dyed purple. Old ladies, their hair were dyed purple and they were all dressed up and their bag. And I says, oh my God. I says, Granny, your hair looks gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Your hair is lovely. And then her husband looked back and he was smiling. I said, Daddy, you're to blame for this, aren't you? You to blame for this. And he just laughed. And then he was sharing with us that, you know, they come up and they just spend the night and they spend time together. They're old. The kids are going on to do their own things and the grandkids. But it was just a nice conversation. Total strangers, all stimulated because I complimented the lady with how beautiful her hair looked. I could have just looked at it and says, oh, Jeannie, her hair looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah, but I took it the next level. Now, First Lady will say to you in no uncertain terms, First Lady would not be the one to say that. She's different than I am. We are all different. All of us are different. First Lady would be a whole lot more quieter in her assessment. I'm just more vocal. But find reasons to compliment others. Find reason to be a blessing to others. Zionist came up this weekend, and it was such an absolute pleasure to meet with Her Excellency Zionist Samaka Curry. It was our first time meeting in person, our first time. And it was so refreshing. I mean, it was like we knew each other for life. We're not strangers, we're friends. But then she met my mom, she met my sister and my uncle, and there were, you know, everybody was hugging and embracing in our cultural positions. It was so fantastic. And I met her beautiful daughter as well. And her daughter now has an Uncle Michael and an Auntie Jeannie. But it happened because she took the opportunity to say yes when it came. Now I don't see my mom all the time. And this 70th birthday was a fantastic opportunity to spend time with her. All you have is now. And now has a value. What is the value of now? So let's look at it. What is the value of now? What is the value of now? Where are you now, and what can you accomplish now? That's an important question to ask yourself. Where are you now? I'm talking about right now. I can say to you, you're in the class of Steele, you're on a Zoom meeting, and you have a number of people from around the world that are in the class of Steele. That's what I could say to you now. That's where you are. Some of you, your mind might be somewhere else and you might be thinking of something else. Some of you might be just listening to this on YouTube or listening to this on LinkedIn. But the key question is now, present, immediate, current. Where are you now in your mind, in your thinking, right this minute? That's now I'm talking about. And you have those moments every day, the now moments. When you go to the gas station, where are you now? You're at the gas station. When you go to the corner shop, when you're leaving the office building and walking down to your car, where are you now? You're leaving the office building and you're going to your car. What happens between you leaving the office and you going to the car in your now? What happens? What could happen that could change your destiny in those now moments? Let me tell you, every person you meet on the planet Earth is a potential destiny helper, destiny changer for you. Every single person. You just have to be open enough to advertise, to market, to promote, to speak, to build, to communicate, to engage, to interact. Watch the video again so that you get all of those very important descriptive words. They were not said willy-nilly. A lot of people leave from their office and on the way to their car, they don't interact, they don't engage, they don't communicate, they don't make a friend, they don't acknowledge. They have so many things going on in their heads that they don't have the time to spot an opportunity or the time to recognize a potential opportunity is there and now. I'll give you an interesting opportunity that has changed my life. Interesting opportunity that has changed my life. As a matter of fact, this is the first time I'm even putting it in the context of recognizing that it really did change my life. Bishop Turner Nelson, from Trinidad, he's gone on to be with the Lord, and he used to come to Barbados often and preach in our church, our congregation. And he was my good friend. He became my good friend because I was very close to my then bishop, the Reverend Dr. Holmes Williams, very close. And when he came, if there's a crusade or something, I was the person that was always on the crusade team, setting up the crusade, helping the crusades going forward and everything like that. And I was always right at the front, securing the pastor on the stage, always. There was me on one side and another person on the other side, always. It was my position, my post, all the time. So many of the men of God, they got to know me, like me over the years. And as they came to the church more and they see me singing in the choir and drama, we built good relationship, very good. I was not a pastor or reverend or any of those things. I just used to do the junior church and work with the young people. And I remember Bishop Turner Nelson came in for a conference and I wanted to take out the pastors. I wanted to take them out for ice cream. And we had a fun time. I packed all of the pastors in my car. There were 8 of them, and all of them got into my car, all of them. And it was a funny thing because they says, let's use Mike's car. Let all of us go in one car. And picture all of these big men squeezing inside of a car. And then Bishop Turner Nelson says, let's get out one at a time, so that when people see all these persons getting out of this one car, it would look so funny. That's what we did as ministers. So they all got out. It was a fun time. And he had to go back to Trinidad, and I was his driver. So he asked me to take him to the airport. And while I took him to the airport, he says, Mike, you're going to pick me up early in the morning when I return. I'm just going for this meeting, and then I'm coming back to close the conference. So in the morning, I'm going to be back here. I said, okay, Bishop. And when we were going up, he says to me, Michael, why don't you come and go with me? He said to me, I'm just taking him to the airport. He says, why don't you come and go with me? I says, Bishop, are you sure? He said, yes. I says, Bishop, I'll come. Let me make a call. So I called my wife and I said to her, I'm going on a trip. I always have my passport with me. I says, I'm going to Trinidad and I'm coming back tomorrow. She says, no problem. So I parked my car inside of the airport and I went and I bought my ticket and everything. And the bishop doesn't talk very much, just gives instructions. And while we were going up, I sat next, I was seated next to him, and he leaned over and he says, Lord, give this young man a double portion of my anointing. And laid hands on me. That thought has never, I wasn't a pastor, I wasn't a reverend, nothing at that time. I was just a young man. But I seized opportunity to sit with the bishop on a trip. And while we were in the air, he leaned over and blessed me. Long story being made short, he was struck with an ailment, and I was in the UK, and I was always following him up and everything. And he said to me before he passed, Mike, I want to ordain you as a reverend. And he was making preparations for me to be ordained as a reverend. And during the process of that preparation, my bishop died before I was ordained. But because of his recommendation, his wife knew me, and she referred me to a minister that said he would ordain me in the US. And his wife flew from Trinidad to the United States for my ordination, because she said her husband is the one that endorsed my ordination, and she was there. Now, I said all of that to say this. All of that to say this. From one experience of deciding I am going to position myself at a moment that I didn't plan for, it wasn't scheduled, it wasn't on my radar, and because I was in a position of opportunity, I was blessed. I became a reverend. 10 years later, a bishop-elect. Then after a bishop-elect for 3 years, a bishop. And everything that have followed me all my life was as a result of relationships that I seized the moment. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because all I have is now. And if we do not embrace the now that we have, we're going to miss a lot of opportunities. And if we're not alert and looking and waiting for some opportunity, for something that's going to happen, we're not going to find it when it even shows up. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you alert? Are you focused? Are you in tune with the potential for recognizing your now? When I go to meetings and conferences, I look for opportunities. How many of you know that, as if I should use the scriptural reference and the scriptural term with Daniel, remember? Everybody else had left. And Samuel, he was still inside of the house when everybody else left. And Eli was there, and he saw it, says, hey, go lay back down. Go lay back down. He was still there. How many people leave because they're in a rush to go, in a hurry to go? They never stuck around. Do you know how many people I deliberately bless as a bishop because they're stuck around? That's a secret that I have. And I think a lot of people have that same tool as well. Those that hang around, wait till everybody is gone. And then all of a sudden you get privy to something nobody else was privy to. Because you stuck around. Because you were looking for an opportunity. Because you expected something great is going to happen. Your level of expectation determines your hunger for opportunity. The time is 7:54, and I'm gonna close this session on the subject. All I have is now, because we have a PowerPoint presentation and a whole lot more that is wrapped up into this subject. All I have is now. But I want you to be mindful. All you have is the now that you're in. What are you going to do? Are you going to make that call that the person tell you, call me now? Are you going to pay that visit that the person tell you, come and see me now? How do you deal with the nows? Are you going to speak to that person in the parking lot that you just saw them, that are there and they're available? How are you dealing with it now? When we got out of the train in Houston this evening, a man was riding close to the sidewalk and a bus came right next. The man fell right at Jeannie's feet off of her bike. And I had to rush. He was tangled up in the bike. And I rushed and lift him up helped him up. An old man, an old gentleman, but he was riding a bike and the bus drove too close and he fell over. And I rushed and everybody else, people were there looking at him and looking down and nobody went to help. And I just rushed from where I was and I just snatched to help him. You know what came into my spirit? He got up and he went. But you know what came into my spirit? If that man in his spirit just said, oh, thank you so very much for that young man. God bless you, son. God bless you. I just received a blessing that I didn't ask for. But because I rushed in at the now, the immediate, and I helped someone that was helpless, that was in need of help, I got blessed. Whenever we go out, I always make it a habit to put a little bit of money in Josh's hand and say, go and give this to that person, or maybe somebody that sleeps on the street or somebody that's begging. I make it a habit to do it for Josh. Why do I do that? Because my life is as a result of those people who say, I am so happy that you came by. How do you treat the nows? Thank you so very much for listening to this evening's discussion. And I hope that all I have is now has added value to you. I hope you didn't waste your time. I hope you didn't see as, why did I sit down and listen to that? I could have done something better with my time. I hope you saw value in what was shared this evening. Thank you so very much for your time with us this evening. I'm gonna ask Her Excellency Zionist Amaka Curry you're the first one to open the discussion this evening. Your Excellency, share your thoughts on All I Have Is Now.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. I greet you, I salute you. I thank you for this beautiful lecture, which is also a prompt, a reminder, a shaking of the soul and the spirit to help us acknowledge the gift we have within us and the gift that is out there globally for us to pick from, to harness, to extract from, whatever term we want to use. The opportunities that are out there are blessings for all of us. And I believe if we are harnessing this opportunity adequately, appropriately, we shouldn't complain of being poor. We shouldn't complain of lacking help. We should never complain. The Almighty God has adequately provided sufficiently for human sustenance. But the question is, do we love it? Do we embrace it? Do we know it? Do we harness it? Do we appreciate it? Do we cultivate it? And before I go any further, it's a pleasure to acknowledge everyone tonight in the platform globally. And I have to start by recognizing His Excellency, Chief of Protocol, Donald Hughes. Good evening, Your Excellency, and happy belated birthday. I never knew. I'm prompted to sing for you, but I think we can do it at some other time. God bless you and grant you more years, more wisdom, more strength, and more nobility to continue to be a humanitarian ambassador. A present good evening to you, our mother, Her Excellency, Bishop Dr. Comfort Edu, always looking young, carrying all the bliss of the sunshine of Ghana with her and bringing it to the platform. Good evening, ma'am. And I acknowledge also, pardon me, I've got a Galaxy Tab A, pardon me, Your Excellency, I don't have the name.
That's Ezine from here in Her Excellency Ezine she is in London with us. She is.
Good evening, Your Excellency Ezine. A pleasant good evening to you, ma'am. Nice to see you, nice to have you on board. And we've got Engineer Stephen Abu, I believe, on the platform. Pleasant good evening to you also. And all the Excellency, the management team, and globally members of the class of Steele watching, and all invited guests. A pleasant good evening to all of you. This topic is rightly needed for such a time as this. We are in a period where things are not quite as they should be. Economically, socially, things are not quite as they should be. And for that reason, it's right to say all we have is now. Because each day we wake up and you tune into the news, there's always something happening globally. Something that shakes our faith in the economy, in our ability to sustain our job, even in health, in all manner of our socioeconomic and political lives. All we have is now. Every minute, every second matters. Every opportunity is very imperative and very important. I'd like to spend more time on this very lecture, but I'm going to be as sharp, as quick as I can, because we all have a lot to contribute, and all wisdom is equally important. Opportunities. There is a song, Nigerian song, that says opportunity comes but once. And once it's gone, it is gone. His Excellency gave us the introduction, and he gave us two key items regarding all we have is now in terms of opportunity. He stated that we miss opportunity because we think we have another chance, or that opportunity can always wait until another day. Opportunity also is affected due to procrastination. And we do. All the negativities fills the place of positivity, and it affects us from grasping and grabbing opportunities. I'm going to give this quote from His Excellency, and from there I'll give my own example, because I always like to use myself as an example. I always find myself in his lecture. And that's the beauty of his lecture, because he prompts me to say, hey, you know what? Yes, I've been through it. That's great. So I make a note and take pointers. His Excellency said that great entrepreneurs, they have the ability to spot great opportunities because they are responsible for making things happen, and they've trained themselves to look out for something that can add value to them. So they own the opportunity, the responsibility to look out for the opportunity. And so I'm bringing this now closer to myself as an example. You heard His Excellency mention going to Manchester for his mother's 70th birthday party. It wasn't easy for me to embark on that journey. My place to Manchester is not that too far, but it was much easier for me to sit back and give up and say, you know what, from left and right, I am pressed down. So therefore, I just give up. And I also consider a lot of cost to me. That also could compel me to give up. Was I really aware of the opportunity of going? No. But going is an opportunity that creates an open door for more opportunity. And so I had to go to Manchester, and I was blessed. There were a lot of opportunity. Now, opportunities sometimes don't come, we might not be able to quantify or qualify opportunity. Now, I qualified mine because of the personal gain I had from the observation of things that I saw, the social interaction, the human touch among and around people. His Excellency, most of us have not met him personally. Sometimes it's good to go closer to the man behind the screen to see him personally. And when I went to Manchester, being with His Excellency became an eye-opener. There were things he taught me. We had a scenario where a key to the hotel was lost. And the tendency was to panic, flutter and panic and, push the bed, pull the bag, empty the handbag and let the content of the cosmetics fly everywhere. But His Excellency said, no. Said no. And I thought, okay, no. How then are we going to find it? He calmed the situation down, and the wisdom He gave me was quite chilling to the bone. It was like being let out into a freezing weather. And it meant something to me. I thought, yes, you know these things, but sometimes you need to be reminded that that is how you ought to operate. And so I brought that home with me. I haven't read a book. I've not paid for a book to read what He had, the wisdom that He gave to me. It's going to be valuable to me from that moment to the future. And I will also impart it onto other people. How to manage crisis management. It's a critical lesson that I learned. It didn't take hours. He commanded the situation and told everybody, calm down. The person responsible for displacing the key, there was no, there was no animosity. Crisis management, I learned that. And then social engagement. His Excellency did not go to the mother say, I thought he was going to be suited up, and he was dressed so ordinary. And that would have made a mother more comfortable than a son or a daughter that is so kitted up that he or she is afraid to touch them in case they soil their suit. He was so casual and so ordinary. And while he was there, he elevated his mother. It was just amazing. His interaction with his mother. The mother dragging him to introduce him to people, putting hand around his shoulder, touching his head and all over his son. It was just heartwarming. I just sat down. I had my camera. I was just trying to catch every move that he was making with his mother. Then the sister came in. I thought, why is it that young lady, the boyfriend might be there, and First Lady is sitting next to me. Why is His Excellency so close, touching, dancing? And then I learned that was his sister. I said, wow, okay, that is just getting better. And so many things, social interaction. There is no barrier, there's no boundary. There is no hierarchy, there is no status. People warmed up to each other. I learned that as well. And then while we were going, there was a totally plastered man. That is our British language, forgive me. But drunken. A man that was totally drunk, he was in front of my vehicle. His Excellency went quickly to this man, not because he was in front of my vehicle, but his posture wasn't that very good, and I had to move away. His Excellency actually picked this man with his hand, grabbed him to his chest, and then called one of his relatives to come and give him a hand because he was slopping all over the place. Now, that is giving me the impetus to do what he's done. We can do the talk and the preaching and all the bravado and all the, but when it comes to reality, are we the same human we are on the outside as we are on the inside? I saw the practical aspect of people relationship with His Excellency. What opportunity has that given to me? You show me the person that you work with and relate with, and I will tell you what is going to be your outcome. And this is what I've gained. This is my opportunity by going to Manchester. I had opportunity to take picture with his mother. So that is from my archive, and several of his relatives. And peradventure, I'm in Manchester, I will recognize their face, they will recognize my face. And so those were key opportunities that I attained that I could not possibly quantify in monetary value. They were wonderful opportunities. So in closing, I like us to consider this quote. I can't remember where I heard it from. It says that the eagle does not hunt for ants, right? But the eagle never missed the opportunity to catch a meal. But first, it has to climb to an altitude where it had no distraction or competitor. And from there, it doesn't miss its opportunity. Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Zioness Amaka Georgina Curry.
Your Excellency, Zioness, I didn't expect that commentary.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I didn't expect it. It was refreshing to hear it. In all honesty, it was refreshing to hear it. And just so I could update you, after we were leaving, the gentlemen, we had to meet with the manager about the keys, never were found. And the manager said that normally that persons would have to pay, but he actually says, no, you don't have to pay anything. Our staff have reported you and how pleasant you were and how accommodating you were. So it was very pleasant. We didn't have to pay for the key or the fobs or anything like that. They really honored us. And I actually want to give a brief note that if you're ever traveling and looking for a nice place to stay, I can endorse the Travel Lodge, because we normally stay at the Travel Lodges where we travel as well. So the Travel Lodge in Chatterton, it has been endorsed officially by me. They asked me to write a review, but I'm going to endorse them publicly, the Travel Lodge in Chatterton. But I think one of the things that you mentioned that I would like to just hone in on, every interaction you have with a person is going to bless you. Everyone. You just have to find a blessing in the midst of the interacting, but in the now. Your Excellency, Dr. Yours, please, your turn, Your Excellency. Just share your thoughts.
A pleasant good evening, sir, and to all the Excellency in the House. Zioness has said it all, actually. I don't know where to come in after that commentary of the feedback. It was really, really to the point, and so much has said. But I'll just like my little take to add on, that your topic was all I have is now. And if I could describe myself in one word, it would be hunger. Hunger to improve myself, hunger to succeed, hunger to be inspired, hunger to help others, hunger to learn. In the class of Steele, we're running a mentoring group, and we have hungry, said, hungry and thirst. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst. And when you hunger and you thirst, it's a form of seeking, constant seeking to develop, constant seeking to be fulfilled, constant seeking to engage. Dr. Michael Steele preaching to the converted regarding engagement. I constantly engage morning, noon, and night, in the supermarket, in the neighbors. As soon as I come outside and my neighbors, hello, Don, hello. I've learned this skill from a young boy, engaging, because opportunity comes with engaging. And I can guarantee tell anybody that. And I'll just give one example of engagement and how it pays off in life. Many years ago, whilst I was living in London, I live now in Birmingham, I saw this young, tall chap Nigerian ethnicity, came to me and said, "Excuse me, sir, I am lost. Could you direct me? I want to go to Greenwich University." And I said, "Hop into my car," and I took him. Engaging with that young man, maybe about 22 years ago, with that young brother. I become his mentor. Just the young man was lost and didn't know where to go. I engaged with him. For my birthday, it's a long story, can't go into it, but to cut it short, for my birthday 2 days ago, he rang, "Sir, send me your bank account." And he put a nice little sum for my birthday in my account. If I didn't engage and I was busy doing my own thing with that young man, he's now a chartered accountant, I wouldn't be blessed. He said, "By your fruit, if you labor, you will reap." And whatever we engage in life, and we've got time out. I feed the homeless for 13 years. That would take me days and weeks, a month to go in engagement and helping and supporting. And you're talking about the now. All I have is now. I think I heard somebody, one of the ambassadors said to me, talking about the class of Steele. Why do we have to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I had visitors this afternoon, and I said, I have to go on my class of Steele. And I could see their face because I'm engaging. The class of Steele has opportunity. When I had my honorary doctorate of divinity and I went to Vienna, I met some of the guys who were there and they said, "We've been watching you guys, Dr. Steele, the class of Steele, and watching how you guys can get it. This opportunity that Dr. Steele go, and you're going to Dubai, you go to Africa, you engage in, and so, we are ambassadors, but we have the badge, but we're not doing nothing, and so on." And because you engage and making relationships and opportunity constantly open. When I travel with you, sir, and I go to Dubai, and when we had the Leaders of Borders meeting the other day with Dr. Hillary, and I watched those entrepreneurial, I could see the hungry for business, hungry for opportunity. And I sit down there observing their face. Carlos. Look at Carlos' face. Carlos is not hungry for food. As you look at Carlos, the CEO of ESOS, he has a hungry business thing about him. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, Dr. Steele. There's something about him hungry for business. That man is a millionaire, but he still wants business, still want opportunity, still want to get. And here we are in our own little comfort zone, and some of us think we're rich. And until we develop, and you would ask, how would I get that now? How do I get that business entrepreneur? How do I get that up and there? If you don't hunger and thirst, if you don't seek, if you don't put yourself in the place. In the class of Steele, if you miss one session and you don't follow up and seek and go on YouTube and go and find out what is said to build and to grow and to develop and to gain opportunity. Many people want to come in the class of Steele because of the badge, but it's not about the badge. It's about your own personal development, your now. In what we talk marketing network has a language that said, what is your why? That's another topic, Bishop, to reach on. What is your why? When I used to do marketing network, it said, what is your why? You're saying now in the class of Steele, your now. And so to marry all of that together, if I can put in that language, our whys, our now, what are we gaining with the class of Steele? You could turn it around in that way. Our now, not just come sitting down week in, week out, week in. What are we doing with the knowledge? What are you doing with the information? What are you doing with the now? So, sir, it's a wider aspect. And I just like to elaborate on it with the now. because we're gaining knowledge. But what are we doing with the knowledge? How many people are you engaging, telling about the class of Steele? How many people are we bringing on board? The now. So there's a lot more to it, sir, in just saying our nows, because we can do a lot more with the nows. Everybody in the Caribbean, where I'm from, Jamaica, we have a broken pidgin English. We said in patois, one cocoa full basket. It simply means in English, you bring one cocoa, I bring the next cocoa, the other one bring coke, and we add together, and it grows. And so therefore, our nows, what are we doing with our nows? I respectfully hand back to you. This is a Chief Protocol, Donald Ewers. Mr. Dr. Steele.
Yes, see, Donald Ewers, I started to hear you sound like, we need you for the class of Steele TV. You're going to be one of the reporters. You've just heard His Excellency Bishop Dr. Donald Ewers. See you on the next broadcast. Your Excellency, thank you for your submission. We have a guest with us that is from South Africa, Liesel Thumps. Liesel, please, would you kindly unmute yourself and just share your thought this evening for this evening's class? What did you gather from this evening's session? And Liesel, it's a pleasure again to have you with us. You're very welcome.
Your Excellency, Dr. Michael Steele, Her Excellency Jeannie Steele, and all the other esteemed people in this class and watching online. Before I start, Your Excellency, may I just take a moment to wish His Excellency Donald Ewers a belated birthday. I am so happy that it seems that you enjoyed a wonderful day, and may the blessings just continue to abound. Well, for tonight, Your Excellency, when you first said your theme, all I have is now, the first thought that went through my mind was, yeah, we know that. We know that yesterday's gone. We know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. We know that all we have is now. And then I heard this beautiful quote, and I think it was by Martha Beck, who said that the soul loves to hear what it already knows. So even though we know that now is all we have, we sometimes have to be reminded our souls love to hear what it already knows. And here are some thoughts that came up while you were speaking. You asked, how do we know when opportunity knocks? And you said when you're hungry and you will smell the pot. Now, how do we recognize the signs of opportunity? Again, we have to go back to those divine inspirations, because we have this sixth sense, whether we want to admit it or not. We have a knowingness, and the more we practice our knowingness and the more we tune into our divine connection, the better we can hear that little soft voice that says, this is for you. We also have to learn to trust not only that divine voice, but our own bodies, because our bodies tell us when something is not for us. We feel uncomfortable, and that uncomfortable feeling is not just random. It is our senses, our intuition, our divine guidance telling us that this is not for you. Your Excellency, you spoke about being sociable and reaching out and making connections. And yes, it is not always easy, especially for introverts, especially for people who don't feel compelled to connect with other people. But you and I both know, because that is how I got this marvelous opportunity to sit here in the class of Steele, is because we made connections. There is one thing, though, that I thought I would want to add to that. when we do make connections, we should guard against creating expectations within ourselves. We should leave the little bit of, dare I say, magic to things. We shouldn't try to control everything, because what's happened to me in the past is I have made connections. I saw the opportunity, but then the opportunity didn't present itself. The person that I was connecting with didn't come to the party, and I started getting upset and starting to put pressure on them. So I would like to urge us all to just guard against those expectations. Things will unfold the way they should. And if they don't unfold the way you expect, then it's because the way you expect was not the right way for you. Let me just take a look at the notes I made. The other thought that crossed my mind was this wonderful concept of synchronicity. Synchronicity to me, and those are the happy coincidences, because we know that they aren't really coincidences in this world. When you walk in spirit, you know there are no coincidences. But for me, synchronicity is the mechanics, God, the universe, spirit, whichever label feels right for you. Synchronicity is the mechanics God uses to get us from where we are to where we want to be. And when we should keep an eye out for those happy coincidences, because the more we are aware of them, the more we are looking out for them, the more we will see them. And then we will meet more people and be presented with more opportunities. I greet you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Lizelle, for your wisdom and for your submission this evening. And that is actually a very critical point, because at the end of the day, we have to be at the place where we always identify that those things happening sometimes are beyond our control, and we just plant the seed, but then we leave it and allow it to grow at its own pace. So thank you so very much for your submission this evening. And I was about to make a quick call on someone, but they're leaving for another meeting. So Esene, thank you so very much for being with us this evening. And we wish you a fantastic evening as well. I want to ask Her Excellency Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu for you to share your thoughts on this evening's session.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele, and I also greet you and the First Lady, Her Excellency Jeannie Steele, and the Chief of Protocol, His Excellency, and all the excellencies in the house. As a matter of fact, this topic is mind-blowing. All I have is now. Of course, you can't own anything apart from the now, because at least you are awake, you are alive. What else do you wish for? Tomorrow is unknown. So if you let today pass by, you cannot guarantee tomorrow. So this topic is very, very crucial at this time. It's a time when one might think of, where do I go from here? And at the moment, it's a time, as you put it, it's a time you can know where you are going from. If you make use of today, if you make use of now. Even the good word says that today is the day of salvation. Now is the day of salvation.
No.
So if you lose today, you have lost your salvation. And when it comes to natural, we are looking at what we'll put on the table. What we'll put on the table. When you were giving your presentation, my mind ran through up and down, looking up and down. I just got, somebody just walked in. I didn't want the person to disturb me. So I was asking the person that be quick and then leave, because there are certain things I want to grab from your speech and then put into action. And my mind came, I put something down. My mind came on the point that some of these opportunities needs to be grabbed.
Yes.
It needs to be grabbed. They don't normally come on a silver platter or just come in a fancy way, as you put it, or it does not come calling on you. You have to call on that opportunity sometimes. And then you don't have to think that, oh, it will be glossy, it will be rosy, it will be like a Milky Way, the land filled with milk and honey and that way. But sometimes it becomes like a challenge. And when you take that challenge up, that is where you can gain your breakthrough. I remember the first time I had a doctorate award, it just dawned on me that pick a newspaper, today's newspaper, it is a long time you have read, pick it and then look through it. And when I opened the page, the first thing I saw is that an archbishop has put up an advert. He wanted some people to bring some people on board for an ordinary award. And I felt in me that this is it. Take the challenge. Because I have been dreaming some time past. When I left my other field of work about awards, and what is this all about? So I just applied to it, and then he hooked me on. So can you get me so many such people for this and this and that? I said, why not? I didn't know much people because I was mostly out of the city. I was in Accra, most often doing my union work. Then I started picking on these big time ministers in town. I got about 30 people for the first group. And the man, I gave them the doctorate award. And then I sent another batch. For the first group, I think a day before, one of the ministers called me. He said, is your name among? I said, no, I'm just looking at you, big shots. I said, but you're also a big shot to grab at almost 30 people for award. If you don't add your name to it, we will not do it. So in the night, they were searching for my CV. I was so overwhelmed. And later on, I thought to myself, if I had not taken that chance, I would have missed a lifetime opportunity on my side. Since then, things started getting on and on and on and on and on. So I think much as we want to get to a level, we must not look at it that the way will be glossy. You must see that there may be challenges. And where there are challenges, you are bound to win at all costs, because since it comes into your mind, do it. If you take that opportunity, you will definitely reach where you are going. I also think of when Her Excellency Zainos was talking about going to Manchester. I also remember about my opportunity of going to Dubai last year. And the pleasant thing among the whole thing is that when I got there, I appreciated the team that we are working with. That is the first time I saw our mentor face to face. And I saw that it was what a nice family. Sitting at breakfast with them, chatting with them, moving up and down. And I thought to myself, it's a good thing that I came on board in the class of Steele. So with the class of Steele, it's a huge opportunity. You don't know where it will get you to, but having somebody like His Excellency on the team, you are in the right place. With this, I'll say I'm Bishop Dr. Comfort Trusledu from Ghana. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak the whole way.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I almost want to ask myself a question. What is this with all of, have you guys had a private meeting and started to market the class of Steele or something without my interaction? All of you are, I didn't come to.
It comes natural.
I'm listening to all of you and it's okay. I'm sorry to say this is, I'm wondering with my wife, I need to have a discussion because of this. You guys are fantastic. I think that the class of Steele is made up of us. It's not me. It is all of us. If we don't reciprocate what is coming out, it's not going to feed back beautifully. But when we all gel, when I met you, Bishop Comfort, you were mommy and you belong to the family. You met His Excellency Dr. Ewers and you had a totally different opinion. It's about family and getting to know each other. When I was with Lizelle just now in Dubai as well, and Lizelle is a phenomenal individual. And all of us collectively, one thing about leaders that I have discovered, real leaders, real entrepreneurs, real world changers, and I will be very transparent with you. One thing I've discovered about us all around the world, we're the same. There's no difference in us. All of us are servants. All of us exhibit a level of humility. When you were, Your Excellency, Zionist, when you were mentioning about me taking up the man, I was a little bit embarrassed because that's just who I am. Office does not change you. Badge doesn't change you. Status in office doesn't change you. Who you are as an individual must remain. When you travel, when you live, when you go, when people meet you, you must be the same person. My wife sees the same person that you guys see in the class of Steele. My son sees the same person. And if you're real and genuine, you will attract real and genuine. And equally, you will also attract fake and unreal. However, fake and unreal will not be able to tolerate you for too long. And eventually, they'll just fall off. So remember the now. Be you. Always be yourself now, because now is all you have. And if they're going to pretend to be somebody now and somebody next time, when the next time meets them, which will be the now, you'll just see somebody else and you'll know what decision to take. Reverend Stephen Abu, let us hear from you. Go ahead, Stephen. You're welcome this evening. Engineer Stephen.
Good evening, sir.
And by the way,
my Excellency.
Before you go, our Uber guy was actually from Lagos and he was telling me how beautiful Lagos is about the beach. So I said to him when I was there, I was, as a minister, you just do ministry work. You go from hotel to church or ministry. So when I come to Lagos next time, I'm going to come and see you and you need to take me to the beach.
No problem. There are a lot of beaches there. We have the Legushi Beach and we have the Bar Beach. Those beaches are there. They're very good beaches, very wide and clean. And when you come here, sir, I'll be privileged to take you there, sir. Good evening, sir. Your Excellency, I want to greet Her Excellency Jenny Steele, the lady of the house. I want to greet Josh too. I saw him in the pics, and he was looking so gloomy and something else. It was a fun time. I saw the pictures you placed. It was quite nice. I want to greet also Chief of Protocol. So I didn't see some of the pictures you took for your birthday, sir. I wish I saw some, sir. But to yours, Dr. Donald, yours. Happy birthday also. Wished you last time birthday. I want also to greet our mother, Dr. Comfort Adu, Her Excellency, the Zioness that can recapitulate everything her mentor says and leaves us with nothing else but to say, we concur with what she said, because everything from the starting to the end is said and well placed. I didn't know what to say, but I just want to add, you said something so peculiar. You say people that hang around or stay much around they attract more blessings. People that keep on, that stay to the end and keep hanging around, and they attract more blessings. And one of the things you said that made you, and some of the things that made you what you were, was you hanging around the bishop from Trinidad and Tobago. And when you took him, you were all in the front, preparing things and all that. So you were interactive, you were sociable, you were communicating in
Don't worry about it, Zen. I think we've all lost Stephen for a little bit.
into your life.
Yeah,
Hello?
go ahead, Stephen. We got you.
When
Go ahead,
God
Stephen.
came to fight your life, an opportunity was created for you to be in a place where He will, inspire you and bless you for the future, and that. So it's an opportunity, and He saw what you are now, and that's why He blessed you. I just want also to say that, where am I now, and what is the value of my now? Every man that is hungry, when he's hungry, as you said, and he gets a sense of food, or a dog that is hungry and smells his food from afar, he senses and then goes for it, no matter what cost, the opportunity. And when he gets to the food, he tears it into different pieces and go, diligently deal with it to his satisfaction, as you just said. So you said something about, how hungry am I? I think the situation around us is that we are not hungry for opportunities. And the third thing is that we don't know when opportunities comes. We don't even know the kind of opportunities we need. We don't even know ourselves. So we cannot determine where the opportunities come, because you don't even know the type of opportunities that comes around you. You might be very hungry, and any food might present itself. So you might want to eat any food. But there's a peculiar food that is needed per time for you, to blow up. And I began to see that opportunities are in different folds. Opportunities of time, opportunities of making wealth, opportunities of health, opportunities of a value in terms of being dear, helping, being merciful, being helpful, and of time. I want to place my emphasis on opportunity of time. Opportunity of time. When we were small, we had time to do a lot of things. We could jump from one thing to another. I remember my mentor saying a lot of things when he was small. He could do a lot of things physically. He could go a lot of places and all that. And I remember when I was small, I could trek for a long while and I could do a lot of things. But as the years goes by and the bones begin to tire a little, do I have the opportunities for some time? So it brought me to a time that there is a season for opportunities and a different type of opportunities per season for it. So what season am I?
Mm-hmm.
What season am I? And what opportunities avail for me to have in this season? So there are different seasons and there are different opportunities for me. And you said something very refreshing tonight. Said it all comes to preparation and expectation. The Bible says the expectations of the righteous shall not be cut off. So what is the righteous expecting? If he doesn't know what he's expecting, or he doesn't know the type of thing he's expecting, he might bypass him by, and he doesn't know the expectation. But his Bible said the expectations of the righteous will not be cut off. I wish today that we might know exactly the specific expectations, opportunities we need, to grow in life. And you say people who attract, I labeled this, people who attract opportunities. First of all, they are sociable. That's one thing that in the society, they engage others.
Mm-hmm.
They engage an open conversation with different people and in different classes. They become aware of others and they interact, they communicate. They find reasons to be a blessing to others. They compliment others. Complimenting, as you said, you complimented the old man and the woman. Complimenting, just complimenting. I like this, your shoe. and all that. You might not referently be the opportunity is in the shoe, but it brings up other things for you to begin to communicate, to open up conversations where you know, things you have alike might, you know, hit from, and then you go on. So these are basic things that happen in our society that we're seeing now. And most what you said, what keys opportunities is that because you said opportunities always, you know, we think we have opportunities all the time. It keeps coming, it keeps coming. And then two, procrastination. That's our problem. Procrastination, you know, postponing things. Now, you say one thing, you say nature creates opportunities for us. And I began to reason that is true. Every day you wake up, there is the nature creates opportunities. But how do we see into these opportunities, sir? That's the question I want to ask. Nature is always creating opportunities for us. How do we key in into this frequency of knowing when, as you said, everybody that is hungry for something knows exactly when the smell of food. But there are times that it might not be your peculiar self, maybe for your family, maybe for a group, maybe for class of steel. How does nature create opportunities for all of us to engage? And it brought me to something. The birthday of mom, 70th birthday, created opportunities for the lioness in the house, Zioness, and other persons, you know, to interact. It's an opportunity to see your mom for a very long time. It's an opportunity to see your sister. It's an opportunity to interact with different people and to meet Zioness' daughter and other Harriet and all that. These are opportunities, and you've created opportunities. You've created and you have engaged. You've interact, and all is left for the days to come by. I remain Stephen Abusa. I'm very grateful for tonight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Stephen, for your summary, your observations, and your comments as well. And to add value, you asked a key question and added value to your interpretation as well. How do we recognize those opportunities when we're hungry? And the reality is that, one, you remain hungry. Two, you keep working, because ultimately you're going to discover that as you keep working, as you keep going, the universe somehow has a way of presenting what you needed most. And that's also important. A lot of times opportunities are not what you want. Opportunities, a lot of times, real, genuine, true, deep meaning opportunities are the things you need. You might want to have something or want to be somewhere, but you may need to have a lesson or an interaction or an opportunity that, had you been there, it could have hindered you from the opportunity you received as a result of the where you were. That would be your now. And life is, I think life creates opportunities for us all the time. And I will end with this. When I said to Her Excellency Zionist, you know, don't stress yourself about the keys. Don't stress yourself about anything, because the most important thing a lot of us need to be aware of is that the universe has two major forces, one of help, one of hinder. Two major. Don't forget that. There's one that is desperate to help you, and there's one that is desperate to hinder you. And you have to equally observe and balance the two. Some things are going to come that are going to be helpful to you. Embrace them. Some things are going to come that are going to be hindrances. Observe them. And when you see a hindrance coming, or something that is kind of trying to put a stop in your way, you kind of weigh the balance is. Is it going to profit me more to be angry and upset and overwhelmed and frustrated about a key? Or is it going to profit me more to have a good opportunity and have a great opportunity to be a mentor as I am? Use it as a teaching experience. Use it as an experience to build relationship with those in the hotel, even though it's an unfortunate situation to be found in, but you can still do something positive with every situation. So you just need to be in an environment where you look at the situation and you weigh the balances. And as you weigh the balances, you determine, is this a help or a hindrance? And which is in your favor? And always remember, a help is more always in your favor than a hindrance. You manage hindrances and you embrace help. First Lady Jeannie Steele, the boss and the queen and the one who keeps this vessel going when this vessel wants to stop sometimes. But if you want to be consistent, get a gym partner with you. Your Excellency Jeannie Steele, what is your comment this evening before we close?
Pleasant good evening to everyone. Very good to see you here in the class of Steele for a new week of many blessings, good, great news. Looking forward to a wonderful week. No sad news this week. We're not hearing it. We're only taking in the happy and the positive, keeping our spirits beautiful. And I thank God for that. I want to first say and welcome to everyone. I want to acknowledge our Mama Bishop Comfort. Good to see you, Ma. I want to say happy belated birthday to our Excellency, His Excellency, Dr. Donna Ewers. I didn't have the opportunity with the others to greet you on Friday, but I'm very happy to see you. You look great in that yellow. You must wear it more often. It complements you very well. And I can see that your daughters did wonderful for you this weekend. You have such a bright smile on your face. So I can see that you were blessed this weekend. And I pray that God will keep that smile upon your face, not only for this weekend, but always. It looks great on you. Zionist, greetings to you. I was so, I can go on with the so happy to meet you. We had an amazing time. The time was too short, but I look forward to seeing you again. And I thank you for introducing us to your daughter, Harriet. She's just as amazing as you are. And I'm really, really, really thrilled that, you have brought your family to ours, and our family have been able to connect, and the class of Steele family is connecting. It felt amazing. Greetings as well to Lisa. Thank you for coming to the class of Steele once again. We're so happy to have you here. And our Pastor Stephen, is very good to have you here as well. Greetings to your family also. Everyone shared some very valuable information, some very valuable and helpful tips, along with His Excellency Dr. Steele on the topic. All I have is now really, really amazing information shared and very enlightening. Just one little thing I'd like to share, particularly for any young people who may be watching and listening in. And that's you would hear a lot of young people or people generally talking about their dreams and living the dream. Oh, they're looking at people having a big car or having this and having that. And they say, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to have this and I can't wait to have that to live the dream. But what I want to say to individuals is that if you have a goal, if you have a dream, and your dream is to, if it says something just as simple as owning your own house, on the path to owning your own home, you are doing what you can in order to do that. And I believe that on your path, you are living the dream. You are living what it takes. You are doing it every day. You are in the know, living that dream until you get there. Then you reap the benefits of it. You continue living in that dream. But don't put off your living for tomorrow. You are living in your dream now because you're working on it now. Every time you think about it, every time you imagine it, every time something inspires you, you say, oh, I want to add this and I want to add that. All of the things that you're doing towards the achievement of whatever goal you are going towards, all of that is living the dream. In the now, you're living your dream. So I just want to encourage people to know that your dreams and your goals are in the now. It's not in the future. When you speak about it and feel it and think about it, embrace it as it's in the now, because it really is in the now. It's all on the path to its fulfillment. So I want to encourage you that you're actually always living that dream. And when it's fulfilled, you have that fulfillment, you have that joy, you can have that the physical manifestation of that dream, but all in the process, all until you have it, even when you've achieved it, all of that is living your dream. And that's all I would like to add. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing you all again on Wednesday, and invite your friends, share the sessions, and I bless your families and communities as well. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Keep safe and God bless.
That's the wisdom I sleep next to. So I'm very thrilled, and actually that was a very good reminder to always be mindful that we live the dream, we live it, and one day at a time. That's a great reminder, dears. Thank you so very much for that. I want to appreciate all of you who were in this evening's session. Thanks again to Lizelle for dropping in and lending her presence and her opinion and thoughts. Thank you so very much. To all of you who listen on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, thank you very much for being with us in this evening's class, another amazing class. And definitely all I have is now. And I just want to remind us, on Thursday is Jeannie's birthday. Jeannie will celebrate her birthday on the 23rd, Thursday. So I just want to let you guys be in remembrance of that. I love you guys dearly. Have a fantastic remainder of the week. Enjoy the week, and God bless you, and please stay safe. And if you're in the United Kingdom, remember that trains are going to be striking from tomorrow for a couple of days. And if that continues, please don't venture too far from home where you can't get back to your house. With that being said, good evening, and I will see you guys in the next class. And for those of you who want the link for this evening's class, it's right here. I just placed the link. That's the link for the YouTube broadcast of this evening's session. It's also on YouTube and on our Facebook Class of Steele Facebook page. Again, thank you so very much. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye for now, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.